Hey, I'm Jim, and you're watching Race Day, where I share my take on the gear that I'm using as a 50-something-year-old runner who's still pushing for personal bests. Now, running shoes don't magically make you faster. Well, most don't, but the right shoe will let you train harder, recover better, and stack more good running days. And that's what I was looking for from the Megablast. It's January 2026, and I'm a month away from kicking up my training gear for the Boston Marathon. Right now, I'm doing a lot of base miles, not worrying too much about speed, and just banging out mile after mile. And that's where the ASICS Megablast came in. I've done over 100 miles in this shoe, and I think that alone shows how much I've enjoyed it. So let's get into it. Visually, there's a lot going on here. A huge stack of foam, wide platform, everything screams big shoe. But on foot, it never feels heavy, not once. It weighs in at 230 grams, which is closer to super shoe territory than it is of traditional max cushion trainers. And immediately that changes the experience because this doesn't move like a bulky daily trainer. It moves like something designed to cover ground. And I've got to say that surprised me. I pulled these on for an easy run and I kept on finding myself pushing the pace. So while it looks like a slow shoe, it behaves like it's built for momentum. Now the price, £210 in the UK, 225 US dollars and 240 euros. That is a price point which I would expect from a carbon plated race shoe, but there's no plate in here. Everything you feel comes from the foam and geometry, and that makes this very different to something like a Vaporfly or an Adios Pro 4. You don't get that rigid locked in lever sensation. Instead, you get bounce and return without being forced into a specific stride. So it's priced like a racer, but built as a high performance shoe. Early on, I expected this to feel soft and cushioned. It doesn't. The foam is firm but lively. You don't sink into it, you work with it. And once that clicked, the shoe started to reveal its purpose. This isn't a shoe that wants you to slow down and relax, it wants to keep you efficient. So let's talk about how it plays out across different types of running. At easy pace, the Megablast feels controlled rather than cozy. You're always aware of the platform underfoot. If you love a very soft cushion shoe, this might feel a bit firm, but for me, it kept the rhythm and kept my form together, especially on tired legs. It's not a shoe that pampers you, it's a shoe that keeps you quietly honest. Easy pace isn't indulgent, it's controlled, and that efficiency becomes even more obvious over longer distances. Long runs are where this shoe truly makes sense. The foam doesn't collapse, there's no bottoming out late in a run, and at a steady or marathon effort, it feels efficient and predictable. Holding pace felt easy, not because I was being pushed forward, but because the shoe just wasn't getting in the way. And that's important because when your shoes don't beat you up, you can run again tomorrow. When you move into tempo or threshold pace, the Megablast continues to work, just differently to a carbon plated shoe. Tempo feels smooth and controlled, threshold feels efficient rather than aggressive. What you don't get is that sharp, snappy sensation that you might associate with a super shoe. Instead, this feels calm, quick without feeling demanding, and for longer efforts, I actually preferred that because you're never fighting against the shoe. The speed here is calm, not explosive. For a shoe with this much stack, stability is genuinely impressive. The platform is wide and the foam resists collapse. Corners feel predictable, downhills feel controlled, and even in late runs when fatigue creeps in, it never feels sketchy. And confidence matters more than people realize because once you stop thinking about your feet, you can just get on with your run. Now, Megablast versus Superblast, because people will ask. The Superblast feels denser, a bit more conservative, while the Megablast feels lighter, livelier, and more engaging. If you value maximum stability and a slightly firmer ride, Superblast makes sense. If you want something more dynamic and fun, Megablast has the edge. If I had to choose one, it would probably be the Megablast. Now the upper is lightweight and breathable, but not plush. The lockdown is good once you dial it in, but don't over tighten it. Fit is true to size for me, though it runs slightly narrow, so if you've got a wider foot, it's probably best to try it on first. For longer runs, the comfort in this has been solid, but it's not a slipper style shoe. So durability after 100 miles has been great. The foam has held its shape, the outsole still grips well, but here's the issue, and I'm not going to soften this. £200 plus for a non-carbon shoe is a lot of money, and the fact that this shoe has been insanely popular sends a message not just to ASICS but to every other brand that runners will pay this much money for a shoe that doesn't have a carbon plate in it. And I have to say, I don't love what that does to the market and to my wallet. But that said, in its defense, the Megablast does a huge amount. Easy days, long runs, tempo workouts, threshold efforts. So instead of thinking about it as a single expensive shoe, think of it as a shoe that could replace 2 or 3 shoes in your rotation. Does that justify 200 plus pounds? That's a question that only you can answer for yourself. So here's the verdict. Buy if you want a shoe that cover a huge range. Easy days, long runs, tempo, threshold, and if you value stability and efficiency. Wait for a sale if you don't like the idea of paying over £200 for this shoe. And honestly, that's fair enough. Skip if you want a super soft sink-in recovery shoe. That's just not what this is. So in closing, the Megablast is a bit of a puzzle. It's big but light, expensive but not a super shoe. But once you've run in it, the pieces come together. It's efficient, stable, quietly fast across a wide range of paces. Would I buy it again? Yes, I probably will. Do I wish that it cost less? Yes, also. But if the trade-off works for you, then it's a really strong option. You've been watching Race Day. If you want more useful running shoe reviews made for runners who just want to get faster than yesterday, then hit subscribe. Now, if you've got an ASICS Megablast, I'd love to know what you've thought of it. How did you find the price? What are you using it for? Do leave us a comment and tell us so everyone else who's watching this can benefit not just from my ramblings, but from your experience as well. Thank you.